What's going on, everyone? My name is Ocean, and in today's video I will be discussing the idea of positioning within Hunt Showdown. This tactic is one of the major ones in Hunt Showdown and will essentially determine if you win or lose. This idea of positioning can be a hard one to master in practice, but it just requires you to be conscious of where you are in relation to your enemy. There are many unique and difficult situations you can get yourself into if you're not careful and aware of your positioning. With this video, I hope to make you a better and more aware Hunt Showdown player, and to get you those wins, of course. Before I jump into all the tips regarding positioning, remember to hit that subscribe button down below. We are getting so close to 100 subs, and I really enjoy making new content for you guys. So if you want more videos like this in the future, please hit that sub button. I appreciate all the support. Also, if you like Hunt Showdown gameplay videos, I have a playlist dedicated specifically to gameplay highlights. I'll link it down in the description. Anyways, let's get right into all the tips to improve your awareness of positioning. Predicting enemy movement is not as difficult as you would think. Essentially, all you need to do is to listen for audio cues in the game, like crows going off, gunshots, or if you're close enough to hear zombies aggro. When it comes to the crows, I don't think many people know this, but if you hear crows go off and look up and see which direction they flew away from, this means the hunters who triggered those crows are going in that direction. So if you take this information, you may be able to determine which direction these players are going. Another aspect of predicting enemy movement is relating to where the boss layer is located. If you're able to find out where the boss is located earlier than other people, you essentially give yourself the advantage to plan for ambushes and try to predict where enemies will be coming from. For instance, let us say the boss layer is at the corner of a map, then you know with certainty which general direction they will come from. Basically, with predicting enemy movement, you should also consider the way spawns work. Most times, teams spawn near a smaller compound, get the first clue, and then push inwards to the second clue. Oftentimes, when team reach the second clue, there can be two other teams also pushing in at the same time. I've seen this happen at the prison, as there are 2 to 3 spawns close by at small compounds, and the second clue always tends to be at the prison. So just always assume, when going into a new compound, that there could be enemies also pushing in. The next tip is based around making the right decision when you or the enemy has the bounty. Now, I feel that most people, when they successfully banish the boss and get the bounty, they 90% of the time head towards the closest extraction. Which, I mean, is good and all, as it saves time and gets you out of the game faster, which also has its XP benefits. But people who go towards the closest extraction are setting themselves up for an ambush. I recommend going towards a less obvious extraction, even if it's further away. If someone was camping the closest extraction, then it would be virtually impossible for them to catch up to you in time. However, if you are hellbent on getting into PvP fights, this tip still applies to you. Now hear me out. So you go to the less obvious extraction, and this means likely no one is waiting for you there. This means that you have put yourself in a position to ambush the people coming towards you. Likely these people will be close behind, so they will assume you are extracting, and will rush towards you without a care in the world. Now, setting up an ambush in this way is risky, but you could be pleasantly surprised how well it works. Now, this tip is one that involves a lot of factors. Anytime you feel like you're exposed, then you most likely need to reposition. When repositioning, you're going to want to make sure you use the proper cover like trees or buildings. Now, in Hunt Showdown, there are 2 types of cover. Ones that prevent bullets from going through, like trees or metal, and the other cover is types that people can still shoot you through, like fences, bushes, or wooden walls. When you are in a game of Hunt Showdown, you need to be thinking about where the closest cover is and be thinking of ways to reposition effectively. Always have the thought in the back of your mind that someone is watching you and just waiting for you to make a mistake with your positioning. Open fields and exposed areas you generally want to avoid, but if you do have to go through them, you must be quick and aware of an exit strategy if you get shot at in that moment. So make sure to always consider that you are being hunted and to make decisions based around that. Always try to think ahead and plan what your strategy would be in certain situations. Oh, one last tip regarding cover is to consider your proximity to barrels and zombies. It's generally a horrible idea to take cover next to an explosive barrel or any zombie too close, as that would make your situation that much worse. Trust me, I am sure you have all been attacked by zombies while getting shot at from other players. It is not a good time. Learning when to push and when to retreat and reposition in a fight is essential to winning in Hunt Showdown. If you are pushing to a new location and you find yourself getting shot at from an unknown direction, it would be best to immediately reposition and try to figure out where the enemy is or could be. Finding a way to get to the back or side of an enemy is ideal, as then you can turn the hunter into the prey. A good strategy is to always have you and your partner flank on different angles, as this would give you the highest chance of succeeding. A good example of a situation where you would want to retreat would be if you fall victim to an ambush or you find yourself without good cover in a shootout. Now, with this situation, we are implying that these hunters were camping and waiting for you. This means you most likely gave off some audio clues and they figured out where you were going. so be aware of what information you could be putting out there. Basically, don't let enemies predict your movement. When deciding when it is time to push, you have to take into account if the player is vulnerable or if they have the upper hand. If they are getting attacked by zombies or hellhounds, then it is without a doubt time to apply the pressure and take them down. Another time you would want to push in on a team is if they are taking their sweet time taking down the boss. When a team is taking down the boss, they are heavily distracted, so if you apply full pressure on them with frag bombs and a coordinated plan with teammates, you'll take them down easily. Speaking of boss fights, you most likely won't want to take down the boss until you've secured the area or taken down a few enemies, and know you can drop the boss in as little time as possible. To sum up this tactic, essentially if you feel like you are exposed or at a disadvantage, always reposition or even backtrack to get to a better location. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any tips for other players or overall thoughts about this guide, be sure to put them down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button as it really helps me out. And hit that subscribe button while you're down there if you don't want to miss out on my advanced tactic guides in the future. This was my first Hunt Showdown guide, so bear with me. I'm hoping to make each video better and more concise, so any constructive criticism is welcomed and appreciated. Anyways, I wish you all happy hunting, and I will catch you guys in the next one.